I even hired the Sandman.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him the word that I'm not a rover. Then tell him that my lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
These videos are satiric reviews. You don't have to agree, but don't bitch about it.
Hey there, I'm Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso. And do you know who had a really strange run with the WWE? The Sandman. For no other reason than the fact that he actually had a run with the company. And if you say you saw that coming, you're either a psychic or you're full of shit. Like psychics. To those of you who are unaware of just who the Sandman is, allow me to shed a little light. He was the beer-drinking, cigarette-smoking, kendo-stick swinging badass from the original ECW. During his 8-year stint with the company, he'd make his name known through his give-no-fuck style and his memorable entrances, which consisted of him appearing somewhere in the crowd, usually in the bingo hall's balcony, while chugging beer or smoking, sometimes both, as he was making his way to the ring, all to the sounds of Metallica's Enter Sandman, which could barely be heard over the crowd singing along.
There he is! The Sandman! There's the Sandman. I mean, come on. Tyler Bulligan, 7 years old, running around making Lego contraptions out of beer cans.
And the highlights of his tenure might just be his entrance, as Sandman was notoriously uncoordinated in the ring. Though I gotta give him points for being able to stand on the ring rail like that. Let's just say that he wasn't doing much to change the minds of what an ECW wrestler was. As a matter of fact, you could even say that he defined that stereotype. Regardless, the Sandman amassed a vast amount of fans and soon became a favorite in the company. While not known for his in-ring prowess, he was loved for his take-no-bullshit persona and his hardcore antics. His tenure was quite successful, seeing him become a one-time tag team champion and a 5-time ECW world champion. Sandman embodied all things ECW, for better or for worse. And it was this exact reason that many thought they'd never see Sandman in a WWE ring. Actually, you know what, as a matter of fact, that's a lie. Because to say that someone thought they'd never see him wrestle for the Fed would require someone to think about it. A more accurate statement would be, they never thought about Sandman in a WWE ring. I mean, the idea is so far-fetched that it wouldn't even register to most. Like, why would that come across anybody's mind? Yet, it happened. Because as Jerry Lawler always said, anything could happen in the WWF. You get it. Sandman was brought in for the ECW reunion show One Night Stand, and would appear in the shows leading up to it, most notably taking out John Cena, a sentence that still baffles the mind even to this day. He and ECW originals would invade Raws and SmackDowns, defending their brand from WWE superstars. At the One Night Stand pay-per-view, he'd take part in the main event, teaming with former rival Tommy Dreamer to take on the Dudley Boys. A match which I don't remember anyone winning, because of the countless interferences and the after-the-show brawl that followed. But at least the match ended with Sandman making this very legendary call. The following year, ECW was resurrected as a brand, and Sandman was given a contract, which is understandable under these unique set of circumstances. But I'd like to note that Sandman didn't return to the company in ECW shape. He showed up looking like a WWE superstar. The guy went from fat to fit. He had a potbelly for the majority of his career, and then all of a sudden it's like he finally gave birth to his beer baby. Sandman was undoubtedly in the best ring shape of his career, looking better than he had in his prime. Sandman would cement his face status by caning Eugene, who had just finished a poem about how much he loved ECW. And that's Eugene, whose gimmick was that he was mentally disabled, being beaten down by a drunk with a cane, to the cheers of the audience.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
That doesn't even sound like something you'd see at a wrestling show. That seems like something you'd see on the next episode of Shameless. As a matter of fact, I think I TiVo'd that episode. I'm kidding, no one uses TiVo. He was given very little screen time at first, as to not overexpose him. Being an ECW original, he'd take insult when things he deemed not hardcore enough would occur, and he'd come out and cane the holy hell out of them. And not in the way that Big Dick Johnson over here would have liked, apparently. Sadly, out of his entire run, this gif right here is probably what I'll remember him for the most. Eventually, the Sandman would begin teaming with Tommy Dreamer for a short stint, and find himself engaged in mini feuds with Mike Knox, because Mike stopped his girlfriend from stripping, and Matt Striker, because he was Matt Striker. I think that one just speaks for itself. It's understandable. The feuds didn't culminate to a whole lot, as they were C storylines in the third brand of the company. His most memorable feud came when he teamed up with fellow ECW originals Tommy Dreamer, RVD, and Sabu in battling ECW's New Breed, a team of men who'd collectively go on to do absolutely nothing in the company. Except for Punk, who was in the group for a cup of coffee. Wait, does he drink caffeine? Is caffeine a drug? Sandman would team with Punk a few times, and when he wasn't teamed with Punk, he was teamed with other ECW originals because ECW. And that's when this understandable hire became a, wait, what now? I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because Sandman was drafted to Raw. Okay, how did I escape my timeline, and what alternate dimension did I end up in? The Sandman was not only on WWE's payroll, but he was on the top brand as a consistent performer. Mind-boggling. Okay, first off, he's one of the very few ECW originals you have left with the company. You choose to take him out of ECW, thus weakening the brand slightly, and putting him on your major show, despite the fact that he's not thought highly of as a great wrestler. His run was short-lived, and his tenure was out of breath after the first mile or so. He'd only last 3 months on Raw, managing to really only briefly feud with Carlito, and having his last match against Santino Marella, in which he was injured, and then eventually released. The highlight of his time on WWE's A Show was this promo with Carlito, where they proceed to spit in each other's faces.
Well, I'm Carlito. That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I don't know, a little too fetishy for my liking, personally. And this moment where Sandman forgot his cue and was almost accidentally revealed as Vince McMahon's son.
Your illegitimate son is not extreme. Your son has a fondness for gold.
My son is a champion.
Which, to be fair, would be a lot better than the actual reveal. And man, why wasn't that the plot twist? I mean, could you imagine a Sandman McMahon? I'd like to. I want to wake up in that dimension. Put me in that one. That's where I want to be. And that was Sandman's time in WWE. While not the most memorable or beloved runs with the company, it was still beyond unexpected to see Sandman employed for the 2 or 3 years that he was employed there. It was something that I don't know that an accurate fortune teller would have been able to predict. It was beyond something anyone could see. But it happened, and because of it, we got one of the only highlights of SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. That being the ability to play as him and also his entrance. No, seriously, that's all there was to that. That game sucked. Easily the worst. Give me the first SmackDown. Give me that Twisted Metal ripoff that they did. I'll take that over this. I'm getting off topic. That's the end of the video. So with that being said, I'm the Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you like the words that came out of my mouth hole and you too want to become a VTard, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more where this video came from. Follow me on Twitter because, hell, why not? It's not considered stalking if it's on the internet, am I right? And don't forget to join the Discord. I don't have anything catchy to add to that, but just join it. Just go do it. And if you have a free moment of time and a free $1 to spare, then head over to my Patreon, where for just $1, you too could help keep this boat afloat. And if you don't have that $1, but you do have a free moment of time, then hit the share button. It will help me out tremendously.
The VTards, oh.
Mr. Sandman.